5, it says, and Moses, so he finishes his prophecies, Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Joshua the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. So here at the end of this chapter, near the end of this chapter, in verses 44 and 45, Moses concludes his song. What he has to say in the song is most important. It's going to take us more than one weekend and more than one program to go through this. But Gary, why don't we skip down to the year 2009, 2010, because we are approaching the end of 2009 and the beginning of the year 2010. In fact, with Rosh Hashanah in late September, the Jews have already begun 2010. So let's look at these verses and see what they have to say to us.
Okay, and I would quickly add that J.R. and I began over 20 years ago to notice this pattern and to comment upon it. And now it's even more powerful than it was then. Verse 16 of Deuteronomy 32, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger.
With what?
With strange
abominations?
gods.
Did you say abominations?
Abominations. In other words.
Okay, excuse me, the play on words here recently.
Oh, okay.
Abomination.
Yeah. Well, abomination has become a popular word.
There are books
but
for that title.
An abomination is a translation of the Hebrew that means evil deeds or evil actions. Something the Lord is extremely displeased with. And finally, in the next verse, they sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that newly came up, or that came newly up in the King James, whom your fathers feared not. Now, J.R., we have here evil abominations, strange gods. We have sacrificing unto devils. You mean we're doing this in the 21st century? If we're to apply these verses to the 21st century, it means that somebody out there is worshiping strange gods whom the fathers knew not. How can such a thing be?
Yes. Well, we don't want to sound off the wall, but we have a news source, a news article. We'll be talking about it one of these days on our regular broadcast. Gary, tell us about this news article and what it says.
There is a recent news article, and by the way, this is one of many, and I'm collecting information to do an article on this subject. But
for our December magazine, by the way.
Well, part of it will be in there. It may extend beyond that.
Okay.
But it has to do with what's called disclosure, or quote-unquote the Disclosure Project, in which, and Britain has already done this, France has begun to do it, and now the United States has announced that they will do it too. They are beginning to disclose the fact that we have had, shall we say...
Go ahead and say it, Gary.
Interactions with aliens from outer space.
You don't mean it.
And our government's been keeping this secret all these years, but now it can be told. Now, J.R.
Obama has said this, that he's going to disclose
Our
this?
president has hinted that the disclosure is going to be issued from the highest office in the land in the very near future.
Could it be in the year 2010?
It's very possible. But it's already begun. I've got to stress that in Europe, France, and England have already begun their disclosure projects. And though this sounds spooky and strange, and J.R. and I do not believe in aliens from outer space, by the way. We believe that they are imposters, that they are devils, that they are demonic spirits posing as aliens. And if we were to have interaction with them, it would be the very same thing as worshiping them. And this is exactly what is spoken in Scripture here about the latter days. They're called strange gods. In verse 17, they sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. There are new gods coming up, and it's my opinion that if these disclosure projects are genuine, then people supposedly from alien origins would be considered godlike to our population.
Well, by the time this program airs, I think there's going to be a new program on one of the major networks called V, where these UFOs come and hover over the city, and the bottom of it is a giant television screen, and this beautiful lady, speaks to everybody and say, "Hi, folks, we're friends." Could this really happen? Could this happen not just on a television program, but actually something similar to that happen?
JR, I think in some way it's going to happen. I think it's written in Scripture that in the latter days leading up to the rule of the Antichrist, there will be signs, wonders, and miracles of such stature that as it is put in Scripture, even the very elect would be deceived if the days were not shortened.